Let's dive right into this, guys. Today, our explainer is unpacking a truly iconic moment from Pixar's 2007 masterpiece, Ratatouille. Now, directed by Brad Bird, this isn't just a fun story about food in Paris. It's actually this profound exploration of talent, ambition, friendship, and honestly, the sheer unbelievable courage it takes to let a rodent handle your food. But today, we're really going to zero in on the film's absolute highest stakes emotional climax. We're talking about a single transformative bite of food that literally changes absolutely everything.
Now, to really grasp that climax, we kind of have to start at the foundation, which is this simple phrase, anyone can cook. This is the guiding philosophy of the entire narrative, right? It's the famous motto of the legendary French chef, Auguste Cousteau, and it's just this beautifully democratic idea, suggesting that true culinary genius isn't locked away behind walls of privilege or fancy pedigrees. It's the exact spark that ignites our main character, Remy, who believes in this idea with all his heart.
But here is where we hit the brilliantly impossible conflict of our story. Because, you see, Remy isn't some classically trained chef from a wealthy Parisian family. Remy is, well, a rat. Okay, sure, a rat with an extraordinary, highly refined sense of taste and smell who happens to be deeply fascinated by human food, but a rat nonetheless. So the big question driving our explainer today is this. How exactly does a rat, society's ultimate outcast, prove Cousteau's optimistic motto to the absolute most cynical, unforgiving culinary critic in all of France? Which brings us to our next section, the feared food critic and the power to destroy restaurants. Enter Anton Ego. This guy represents the sheer weights of consequence in the story. He isn't just some tough reviewer. He is the ultimate obstacle. Ego is famous, or maybe infamous, for his incredibly harsh reviews. His pen holds the power to literally destroy restaurants, ruin reputations, and end entire culinary careers overnight. So his arrival at Cousteau's restaurant, a place that, remember, has already lost a lot of its former glory since the founder died, it sets up a complete do-or-die scenario.
Moving right along to an unlikely culinary partnership, or two halves of a chef.
We have a really stark contrast to look at here. On one side, we've got Alfredo Linguini. He's this young, exceptionally clumsy garbage boy working at the restaurant, and he possesses virtually zero talent for cooking. And on the exact opposite side, we have Remy, a rat with absolute culinary genius, but, absolutely no socially acceptable way to even step foot in a kitchen. Separately, these two are completely powerless in the culinary world. But together? Well, together they form two halves of a perfect chef.
So the crucial point is how they actually pull this whole thing off. And it's a brilliant, highly secretive mechanic. Remy literally hides underneath Linguini's chef's hat, and by pulling on different strands of Linguini's hair, Remy discovers he can physically control the young man's movements, almost like a marionette. They test this out while fixing a soup that Linguini had accidentally ruined, and that soup becomes a massive surprise hit. Delicious food is made, Linguini gets all the credit for it, and he begins this incredibly rapid rise right up through the restaurant's ranks. But as we all know, rapid success breeds incredible pressure, and that kitchen turns into a literal pressure cooker. Head chef Skinner becomes deeply suspicious, and he's constantly trying to uncover Linguini's secret. To complicate matters even more, we find out that Linguini is actually the rightful heir to the restaurant because he's the son of Auguste Cousteau himself. Meanwhile, Remy is facing his own massive internal crisis. He's feeling deeply torn between loyalty to his rat family, who just do not understand his passion, and his burning dream to be a professional chef. And it is at this exact, chaotic, boiling point that Anton Ego walks through the front door.
All right, part 4, the simple traditional choice, defying expectations.
Now, you would think, when facing a critic of Ego's terrifying stature, a chef would try to create the most complex, luxurious, towering culinary masterpiece imaginable just to try and impress him, right? But Remy totally defies all expectations here. The dish he chooses to serve is ratatouille. It's a simple, traditional French vegetable dish. Basically, it's humble, rustic, peasant food. Serving this to Anton Ego is an incredibly bold, almost dangerously risky choice. And this brilliantly illustrates Remy's true genius. He gets that you cannot outsmart Anton Ego with extreme, pretentious complexity. It just won't work. Instead, Remy prepares this ratatouille with immense care, vibrant creativity, and deep, deep emotion. He essentially pours his soul into the food. He elevates a super simple dish into a pure art form,
completely relying on the purity of the flavors rather than some cheap kitchen gimmicks.
Which brings us to the core of our explainer, the transformative food memory, a bite that changes everything.
Ego takes a bite, and the pen literally slips from his hand. He isn't analyzing the dish anymore. He's completely transported by it. In a fraction of a second, the flavor pierces through decades of rigid cynicism. It flashes him straight back to his childhood, bringing this overwhelming rush of powerful, comforting memories of his mother's cooking. You can almost feel the warmth of the memory yourself. The taste just wraps around him like an embrace. In that single, profound bite, this deeply destructive critic is reduced to a wide-eyed child experiencing pure joy. This, right here, is the ultimate power of food. It connects us to our deepest, truest selves.
This leads us right into art from unexpected places and Ego's realization. So, after this mind-blowing meal, Ego naturally demands to see the chef. And in a moment of ultimate vulnerability and courage, Linguini and Remy reveal the absolute truth. Ego is actually introduced to Remy the rat. Now, the chaotic aftermath of this is intense. The human kitchen staff initially walks out in absolute shock and disgust, which, is pretty fair. But the sheer power of Remy's talent and the genuine loyalty he's inspired, it eventually draws them back. They return to the kitchen, finally working together as a true team to support Remy's dream.
The absolutely crucial takeaway here is Ego's ultimate realization, which he writes in his final glowing review. Great art and talent can come from the most unexpected places. Ratatouille proves that talent is not limited by your appearance, your background, or where society expects you to be. Social expectations just do not dictate your potential. Ultimately, Gusteau was absolutely right. Anyone can achieve greatness if they're fueled by genuine passion, unwavering determination, and the courage to show the world who they really are, even if that means opening a brand new restaurant where a rat is the head chef.
Which leaves us with this final thought for you to chew on today. If a simple vegetable dish cooked by a rat can completely melt the heart of the world's harshest critic and prove that great art comes from the most unexpected places, well, what hidden talents might you be overlooking in the people or the world around you? Keep an open mind, stay curious, and maybe, just maybe, take a closer look at the unexpected. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I'll catch you next time.